spawning as our purple Protoss. We have Levels. His teammate going to be spawning as our yellow Terran. We have Get Slammed. Of course, Get Slammed is our random player, so that means that Hammy and Mantos, well, it's got him out. We will have Mantos spawning as our red Protoss, and then, of course, Hammy spawning as our orange Terran. So they will have to scout out Get Slammed to see what he is, or at bare minimum, we'll have to consider setting up to wall off their front just in case he does spawn Zerg. So I would expect the initial supply depot and pylon to go down in a position where they could at least potentially wall off.
Yeah, definitely. And this is just one of many advantages you have as a random player because, you know, if you don't spawn Zerg, you just have basically free buildings at the front of the ramp, which are vulnerable to a lot of Terran builds and Protoss builds.
Definitely would agree with you there. And we see Get Slammed immediately just going to actually be throwing his first supply depot back in the back of his base. Levels throwing his first pylon down near his nexus there. And just like you were saying, that's the advantage there, is they are going to be forced to at least put something over there at the front of their base. And their opponents are going to have to wait until they actually know what they're up against.
Yep. And already we're seeing a slight advantage for Get Slammed in terms of timing for the racks and the 12th SCV and the depot. Like, just very, very little things, like the walk distance between you and the ramp as opposed to you and like right next to your base. It's small stuff like that. It adds up over time, especially in 2v2 where every little thing matters.
Definitely would agree. We do see right now the initial buildings are being put in a wall-off position for both Hammy and for Mantos. It's going to be interesting to see if he actually tries to wall off this front here. We do see Levels right now actually blocking that with a scouting probe. Not going to actually build that second fast supply depot. We see a little bit of harassment there over on the SCV of Get Slammed, but Get Slammed will finish off that first barracks. Has taken a gas, so could potentially get an add-on or a fast factory. Not enough gas for a fast factory, so it might just be a little bit of a delayed factory. First gateway now up for Levels, throwing down his cybernetics core immediately. Did see Mantos attempt to get the kill in with the probe, but typically buildings build so fast that it's just not possible. Probe will actually get into the base of Hammy, so
nice.
Probe will be able to scout out what is going on. And Hammy actually taking a very fast double gas, so they're definitely going to not be going with those super cheesy strategies. Well, yeah, I think that's an accurate way to put it. Not a super cheesy strategy out of Hammy and Mantos here. Looks like they're going to be playing a little bit more for the mid game.
Yeah, I'm surprised Levels didn't go in there to check for a second gas. I mean, that's like the first thing you want to check as, especially as a Protoss player playing against any Terran composition. If you see the double gas real quick, you're gonna have to be prepared for Banshees and one-on-one builds and anything along those lines.
So we do have the factory on the way. We have the reactor barracks getting built here. I don't think he's going to be switching these. Hellions and not really the greatest against PT compositions in my opinion, but we do have the fast Stargate on the way here from Levels, so looks like we might actually get a really fast expansion here out of Get Slammed with some Phoenix pressure by Levels.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how he deals with that, because it's like, I don't know, on this map especially, it's going to be difficult to walk from your main to your natural to the other main with anti-air units, so I think it's a pretty good choice.
So we do have the factory along with the tech lab getting built over here, starport on the way, so Hammy is going to be going for Banshees. Not going to be, I'd say, the fastest possible Banshees, but is going to be fairly quick Banshees. Probably could hit by around the 7.5 to 8 minute mark of the game. So it will be a couple of minutes before it will be a threat to Levels and to Get Slammed, but they will have 2 orbitals up, and they will have Phoenixes, so this might actually work out to their advantage, I'd say.
Yeah, as we see, Get Slammed is indeed getting the natural up while sticking with the Marine tank composition and putting the bunker at the front, actually bunkers at the front on both sides. We see Mantos going for a pretty standard 3-gate robo, a little bit defensive into a potential push play, as we see the 1-1-1 out of Hammy getting the tech lab on the factory, so we will see Cloak actually out of the starport with a first Banshee getting started.
Couple of Phoenixes moving into the base there of Mantos, starting to try and do a little bit of harassment there to his economy. Are going to see the tech lab now on that starport, and the first Banshee is going to be on the way, but not sure it's going to be able to really do any damage because those Phoenixes are going to be able to spot it now. Might even be able to snipe it as it comes out.
Yeah, it's a great play going Phoenixes in PT mirrors, because there's a high chance that the Terran player will go either Banshees or tanks, both of which get dealt
Oh,
with
and now
pretty
picking up a couple of Marines that were by themselves. Sorry about that, but
It's
taking
okay,
out a few
yeah.
Marines there, weakening the anti-air defense there of Hammy. He needs to be careful. Probably would not want to lose that tank. That'd be a huge loss if Columbus could pick that off
Yeah.
with these Phoenixes. And now we see Mantos immediately coming over here to support his teammates so that he doesn't lose any more. But right now they're getting further and further behind, economically speaking, because Getslamp has that second expansion orbital already up.
Yeah, Mantos actually forced to get a Twilight Council to get Blink up to deal with this Phoenix opening. It's like I was saying a second ago, it's very, very good against Terran Protoss mirrors because you get that option of countering Banshees, tanks, basically anything Terran has to throw at you besides Marines, which is you know, very, very good. Especially because the chance of Terran actually going bio in this type of PT versus PT situation is not that high. Going in the late game, you definitely want the tanks, and you definitely want the starports to deal with the opposing Terran.
So now we do have a Banshee coming in here for Hammy, but it's a very smart move by Getslam. Built a turret over here at his ally's base, and that is going to back that Banshee up. Can still poke at this single gas geyser, but not going to really be able to do any damage. Already down to 20 hit points. Forced to retreat immediately. Phoenix is swarming around the map. Did see on the map there, as you were explaining some of that stuff there, Levels here, sorry, I had to think of who I was looking at. Levels getting a good scout on everything their opponents are doing. They're completely aware of every single little move their opponents makes, moving through the base, picking off mules, like just getting really good harassment done with these Phoenixes.
Yeah, we see Mantos actually going for the Charge Lot Archon composition, getting the Templar Archives down now, while taking the natural expansion around the same time his counterpart Levels is. So a little bit of a defensive play for both ends, but Hammy's still not getting that CC done. It's halfway done right now in his main.
You see the transfer now for both Protoss players. Hammy, as you said, just trying to get that CC built in his main. Right now, economically speaking, pretty decent sized lead there, 4 levels, and Getslam trying to press the advantage that these Phoenixes are giving them, completely shutting down that Banshee play, and now moving into the main once again. Oh my god, SCV carnage as these Phoenixes just pick off a ton of SCVs there. I'm really surprised that Hammy has not built an engineering bay to throw down some kind of defenses against these Phoenixes, because they just got a ton of kills right there. I'm actually going to bring up the economic tab for you guys right now. You can see right now, Hammy down to 12 harvesters after those Phoenixes just went in and raided his base. 37 for his teammate, but 46 and 38 for the rest of their opponents, and they are in a huge hole now.
Yeah, they're going to have to do some type of push soon. Assuming that they did. Oh, actually, they did not see that Getslamton Levels has both naturals, so they don't know they're in that big of an economic deficit, which is why they're probably not pushing at this point.
Well, they definitely could potentially know shortly. Mantos does have an observer over here in the base of Levels. Can't see that Levels does have a Templar Archives on the way as well. Has not started charge or blink. So we're going to have to wait and see which route he is going to actually decide to go. And he is actually going to go Charge Lot Archon as well. So just going to actually mirror his opponent along with having those Phoenixes out. And the Phoenixes actually snipe a Banshee out of the composition despite the Marines. Marines not even able to pick off a single Phoenix, I do not believe. And now finally some turrets done over here in the main. And these Phoenixes finally not going to be able to do quite as much damage, but they're just going to move in regardless of the turrets. You manage to maybe pick off one SCV before they are going to be forced out.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier. Once you get enough Phoenixes, you could just fly over their missile turrets and maybe take 1 or 2 losses, but pick off a lot of key units, such as mules and gas mining SCVs and such.
We do have Getslant moving forward now with his teammate Levels. Looks like they are going to try and just force in the front here. We'll pick off one of Hammy's barracks immediately. Bunker goes down as well. See Hammy sieging up, but actually not quite in siege range. One of those siege chains looking might be on the edge of siege range, but actually not able to fire. Maybe losing a Phoenix or 2, but not really even reducing those Phoenix numbers hardly at all. So Getslamp trying to get forward to siege up and take out some of those tanks, but the scan there by Hammy does manage to take out that siege tank by Getslamp. But right now, Getslamp and Levels are in a really good position, hammering away at this forward gateway. One of those aspects that we were talking about way earlier in the game, where that forced wall off now going to be punishing them a little bit. He's going to lose this front gateway, maybe even that forward pylon as well.
Yeah, and despite the
siege tank gets picked off there by Levels for free. Hammy actually not reacting fast enough.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, Levels needs to get some other unit composition out besides Phoenixes, because even though they're in this kind of lead, as another tank gets picked off, oh, the blink forward going on, and actually pretty good exchange for Levels, even though he lost a lot of Phoenixes. Oh, actually, no, he didn't pick up any of the tanks. Never mind.
Oh, and actually, all the tanks just barely surviving. And you get some SCVs down here, you could repair those tanks, which would be huge. As Levels just got his Phoenix absolutely demolished there. And now here comes the big push by Mantos and by Hammy. They're going to try and break this front here. Here comes the Phoenixes back in to lift things. And Hammy just immediately leaves the game. Just has decided he is not going to be able to win. And Mantos leaves the game as well. And Levels and Get Slammed go up the very fast 1-0.